الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Most honorable elders, dear respected brothers, friends, my youth, young and honorable mothers and sisters listening, when our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was blessed with the opportunity of transcending above the heavens and meeting his creator, our creator Allah Azza wa Jal in person, face to face, then having to return to the world and continue living this life and for a number of years thereafter, could you imagine the longing in the heart of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the yearning, the intense yearning to return back to his Lord as soon as possible and be done with this worldly life? Once having seen the beautiful presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then one cannot imagine that what it would be like to feel about returning to the Creator and not staying in this world. Despite that, whenever Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was presented with the opportunity of Ramadan, so he would come close to Ramadan, then the scales would switch. Then it would become irresistible for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to ask for anything but to live in this world and to see the month of Ramadan and to maximize the month of Ramadan. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would make the dua, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. Allah, give me barakah in the month of Rajab and Sha'ban. Bless it for me, so that I'm able to maximize these months, so I'm fully prepared for the month that's coming, وَبَلِّغْنَا Ramadan, and help me live and to see the month of Ramadan. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam knew that if I maximize the month of Ramadan, then I will gain by far great amount and a tremendous amount of closeness to my Creator. So it is worth living in this world for a moment more, striving against the nafs for a moment more, sacrificing for the sake of Allah for a moment more, and then dying, and then meeting the Creator. Because Ramadan is such an opportunity that you do whatever you do outside the month of Ramadan, you do that in the month of Ramadan, but how far that takes you to your Creator, how close it brings you to your Creator, how personal your relationship can become with your Creator is much more. The same amal, the same 2 rakats you perform outside Ramadan, if you were to perform them inside Ramadan, inside Ramadan, in the hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions that the nafal act outside Ramadan is equivalent to a fard act when performed inside the month of Ramadan. And what is about the fard act? What did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam say? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that my slave cannot come close to me as much as he can when he performs the fard acts of this religion. So the fard acts of this religion, they propel you and they really bring you close to your Creator more than the nafl. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that a nafl act outside Ramadan is equivalent to a fard act inside Ramadan, it means that the effect that you would receive, the result that you would get from performing that nafl act for the sake of Allah and how close it brings you to Allah will be equivalent to a fard act. Same 2 rak'ats, same couple of minutes, but the impact is completely different. And regarding a fard act, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that should you do the fard act within the month of Ramadan, so if nafil you do, you get the benefit of a fard, that the result of a fard, the profit of a fard. And if you do a fard act in the month of Ramadan, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies that by 70 times. 70 times. 70 times the amount of benefit. 70 times the amount of reward. 70 times the amount of raise in spirituality. 70 times the amount of greater closeness to the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would come close to the month of Ramadan, then he would wish to remain in this world. And the desire to see this month and to make the most of it was above meeting the Creator. Why? Because what you can achieve in the 29-30 days of the month of Ramadan, it can last us with spirituality for the rest of the year. Yeah, one good Ramadan you spend and you know that the next year is going to be good. One good Ramadan. And one Ramadan you neglect and you will see. May Allah save us all. May Allah save us all. May Allah save us all. But you will see that one Ramadan you neglect, and if you are going downhill, if you're going downhill at the angle, let's say 25 degrees, then when you miss a Ramadan, then you just double the angle. So instead of 25 degrees, you're going down in your Iman and your Islam. By neglecting a month of Ramadan, that 25 just doubles and you go down by 50 degrees, downwards. Meaning you find such a slip in your Iman, in your Islam. You feel like you're on such a slippery slope once you waste a Ramadan, that you're trying to bring yourself up back onto your feet and do something for Allah in the year, but because you wasted the Ramadan, you just can't build that level of momentum, that level of spirituality, that level of encouragement and Iman that can actually put you on your feet in terms of your Iman and Islam and help you walk. So Ramadan is not there to be wasted. Ramadan is not there to be treated like any other month. Ramadan is there to do every good deed that you are doing outside Ramadan, to do it in Ramadan, but also to do more. Ramadan is there so that every evil deed you had outside the month of Ramadan, you give it up in the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is there so it becomes your blueprint and your model of how you would like to live your life for the next 11 months before you see the next Ramadan. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would come close to the month of Ramadan, then his desire would be to see this month of Ramadan and to live this month of Ramadan. And living is life, and life is time. And how can we maximize the month of Ramadan? What is it? What does it mean to live to see the month of Ramadan? It means to maximize your time in the month of Ramadan. Shaykh Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah mentions, Yabna Adam, innama anta ayyam. O son of Adam, you are a composure and a make of pieces. What pieces? Days. Meaning, if when you die, we were to calculate the amount of days you lived in this world, then even if you say 3,000, 10,000, 50,000, at the end of the day, we could say that if we were to dissect your body into 50,000 pieces, and you started from day one of your life, then every day we could remove a piece of your body and say that you've lost yourself. And this piece that has been removed is never going to come back. Yeah, if you know someone who's lost a thumb or a finger or a hand or an arm, then they'll be able to tell you what it feels like to lose a part of your body which you know you can never gain back. So Shaykh Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah mentions that Yabna Adam, innama anta ayyam. O son of Adam, what are you? You're only a make-up of days. That's all you are. That's all your essence is days. Your time. And as your time moves on in your life, then it cannot be recovered. You have lost a part of yourself that can never be brought back. That's all you are. فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ يَوْمٌ ذَهَبَ بَعْضُكَ. He says, when a day goes by, a part of you has gone. A part of you has gone. On the day of judgment, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. That a person, after being resurrected and gathered on the day of judgment, he will not be able to move from his place until he is questioned about 4 things, and he gives the answers to these. And one of those is عن عمره فيما أفناه. About his life, where did he spend it? And life is time. About his time, where did he spend it? What did he do with it? Where did he go with it? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned, اغتنم خمسا قبل خمس. Value 5 before 5. And from the 5, 3 were about time. In essence, 3 were about time. One, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, شبابك قبل هرمك. Your youth before your old age. In essence, this is time. That now that you're young and you have this time, and with this time you have the support of energy as well, health as well, lack of illness, endurability. You have all this with time, then you have to value this before you get old age, before you start to become more sick, before you start to feel more weak in your body, before your bones start to hurt, before your eyesight starts to decrease, before your hearing starts to decrease. You have to value that. And the second thing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, حَيَاتَكَ قَبْلَ مَوْتِكَ. Your life before your death. Value this. And again, life is time. And then specifically speaking, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, from the third thing out of the 5 things, فَرَاغَكَ قَبْلَ شُغْلِكَ. Your free time, value it before you become busy and occupied. And this is time. So value 5 things, and in essence 3 were to do with time. Because life is time. Free time is time. It's all time. And to maximize the month of Ramadan, you have to maximize your time. To value the month of Ramadan, you have to value time. You have to value time. What you do in the time will represent value. What you do in that time will represent value. But until you don't value time, you cannot create something of value within time. You have to first value time. You have to start valuing time. You have to start assessing your lives. You have to start planning ahead. You have to start thinking of timetables that you're going to live by in the month of Ramadan. You've got to take out those things from your life now. In this hall right now, I'm seeing brothers on the phone. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Here the words of Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is being spoken, and there's people on their phones right now in front of you, in this hall. So you can't let go of your phones when the words of Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are falling upon your ears. You can't let go of it then when you're outside the house of Allah and the words of shaitan, nafs, music, women, adultery, fornication, drugs, alcohol, when they are falling upon your ears, then what chance do you have? If someone says to you, brother, what you're doing, this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. You should come to the masjid. Then what's going to propel you to come then when right now you can't give up your phone? You can't get away from your phone and you can't listen to these words. You have to think, why has Allah made you? Why are you here? Why are you in the masjid in the first place? What's your purpose of life? What's Ramadan coming? What's it got to do with your life? What's it got to do with your relationship with your Creator? You have to ask these big questions to yourself. So valuing time, you have to give up things in life that you really are addicted to. I'm not going to say you like doing, because a lot of things we do in life we don't really like. We may like them at first, but then we become addicted to them. And when we become addicted to them, we do them because we're addicted to them, not because we enjoy them. Not because we enjoy them. Because you're addicted. So you learn that music is haram, and it's hit your heart that music is haram. Music is haram. Music is haram. It hits your heart. But you know by habit, whenever you walk home, you plug in your headphones and you start listening to music. So after Jumu'ah, on your way out onto the streets, you know music is haram. But still you don't control the temptation, and you pick up those headphones, put them in your ears and start listening to music. So what you do? Why? Because you enjoy it? Why? Because you want to do it? No, because you're addicted to it. You've made it a habit. And like this, many sins in our life, they're just habits. My dear respected brothers, time doesn't permit to go further, but valuing Ramadan is valuing your time. If you value your time, then you'll be able to decide what items and actions of value can you put into your time. And when you start doing that, then it's like you completely rip off all the plaster off the walls, all the wiring, plumbing, you get right to the brick. And you say, right, okay, now what am I going to do? Now what am I going to put first onto the wall? Am I going to run the plumbing or the wires? Or am I going to put the plasterboard? Do I want to put the plasterboard first and then remember I've got one pipe still to take out, then I have to drill a hole into my lovely plasterboard? And then I want to take the pipes out. You start thinking right from the brick. So when you think about valuing Ramadan, you have to think right to the bone of your timetable. What is the spine of my timetable? Meaning nothing else. What's the spine of my timetable? My spine of my timetable is I wake up. My spine of my timetable is I eat. My spine of my timetable is I visit the toilet. My spine of my timetable is I sleep. My spine of the timetable is I work. My spine of the timetable is I perform my 5 times salah. This is my spine. After that, what happens in between? During those hours and between these actions, that's the fillers. Once you get the spine right and you correct the spine, then you start thinking about the fillers. Okay, what's going to go in now? And you have to do that in order to maximize the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first will give me and the rest of you the ability to act upon what has been said. May He help us correct our lives, correct our time, because time is life. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us live to see this month of Ramadan and maximize the month of Ramadan, value the month of Ramadan and value our time. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanallah al-azim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Just for the brothers who've come in after and now have taken out their phones, then I emphasize that you should keep your phones away. In the masjid, in the house of Allah, this is the last place you want to take out your phones. If you want to read Quran, grab one from the shelf. It's very convenient taking out on the phone, but when a ping comes through and a WhatsApp message, how many of you will be able to just swipe away? How many of you will be able to retain focus on the Quran on the phone and not on that ping? How many of you will be able to resist the attempt to open an email and respond? So yes, it's great, it has benefits, the phone, but pick up the mushaf and read from there and avoid the distractions. Put your phones on silent, put them away. Avoid ringtones that are musical. May Allah give us a tawfiq. Please perform your sunnahs for Jumu'ah. Jazakallah.